Welcome everybody. Thank you for weathering the rain. We're starting a little bit late this morning, so welcome. I'm going to just pass it over to the Vice Dean for Research at Columbia Engineering, who is our host today, who will kick off the program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 6th annual Rethinking Water Conference. I'm George Deodatis. I'm a professor of civil engineering and engineering mechanics, and a professor of earth and environmental engineering at Columbia, and I'm currently serving as the Vice Dean for Research in the School of Engineering. So I welcome you to our university, to our new Manhattanville campus, and I invite you, if the weather improves, to walk around. It's very beautiful. And specifically to this building, the Lee Bollinger Forum. I would like to thank our co-hosts for the conference. Science, water. Their support is critical for the success of the conference. The Columbia Water Center, the Columbia Climate School, the latest school at the university, and the Water Institute at Arizona State University. There are some exciting keynote lectures, panels, and talks planned for today, which will highlight how academia and government, finance and industry can come together to find solutions. The collaborations between different segments is absolutely critical. My own area of research is risk analysis and risk management of the built infrastructure. And I know very well how important it is to have collaboration across disciplines and sectors of society. Just academics doing research in a university is clearly not enough. Society has to be engaged. This is the only way to address real-world problems. So this type of collaboration and convergence is a hallmark of research here at Columbia. And we are eager, very eager, to partner with organizations and institutions that share our vision. So Climate Week is a showcase of all the various efforts happening across Columbia, and with our partners to build a more sustainable future for our planet. As we all know, addressing the water crisis is critical to this goal. Now, I would like to especially thank Professor Upmanu Lall for his extraordinary vision and lifelong dedication conducting pioneering research in this field and raising the visibility of this kind of research. First here at Columbia and around the world. And of course, we thank all of you for your attention and interest in this issue of existential importance for humanity. Once again, welcome to Columbia and enjoy the Rethinking Water Conference. Thank you very much. Professor Lall.
Thanks very much, George. Always too kind with these things. So I was at Columbia for about 25 years, and it was one of the most inspiring experiences, in large part due to the fact that going beyond academic excellence, there was encouragement to see how some of the most pressing challenges in the world could be solved: water, but also climate, but also all the other things that we talk about that are resource challenges and others. And it started with my being one of the first faculty in the department that was created then, called Earth and Environmental Engineering, signaling the importance of that particular integrated field. Anyway, the story here is about 15 years old, where we started the America's Water Initiative, with selected people being invited so that we could learn what the rest of the world was seeing as challenges with water and climate. It morphed from that to looking at infrastructure, morphed from that to looking at finance, and morphed from that to looking at governance issues, so that we could start having an understanding of how the full picture of water-related challenges, which frankly dominate all climate challenges as well, could be dealt with in reality. So about 6 years ago, Alex, who's going to be speaking next, came and talked to me and said that, we are a company that wants to actually be the white knights of water. What should we do? And my reaction was, do I really believe this? Frankly, he doesn't probably know that. Of course, you take a chance on any offer like that, and that's how the partnership with Sciens started. And I think what they have been able to do since then is phenomenal. And what it speaks to is what universities, if they focus on how they can solve societal challenges with the research, rather than thinking about, hey, I do this wonderful thing, can I find a client for this? It's a testament to what can be done as people start working together without really thinking about who pays for this, who really is going to get the publicity out of this. And so that's been the story. And we are now moving to the next chapter of that story by moving towards a consortium of universities and industries to start framing how the solutions and the design for the infrastructure, the regulations and other things for water in the country can be done, starting with ASU and Columbia, but with a lot of other universities and with a lot of industrial partners. So I hope those of you who are here will keep that in mind. And this is an opportunity for you to leverage what has been built so far and amplify it. Thank you. With that, let me bring Alex on.
Thank you. As Professor, my name is Alexander Loucopoulos, partner with Sciens Water, one of your hosts today. As everybody knows, I'm a very visual person, so I wanted to take visual representation of pretty much what the professor said, which is about 6 years ago, we really didn't know too much about water, and we thought the algorithm was about the Rubik's Cube, right? It was a confusing sector, extremely complicated, that we needed instruments to sort of make sense of it. After a couple years and doing research and really digging deep into it, we realized the Rubik's Cube is very much solvable. And if anybody has ever interacted with us over the last 6 years, they know everybody walks around with the Rubik's Cube and convinces everybody that it's easy to solve. Then we moved on from that to where, okay, now let's put the different pieces together collaboratively and actually solve this puzzle called water. And we've done that, and I think we've done that with many of the people in this room and hope to continue to do that. So as we were sitting here thinking about, okay, what do the next 5 years mean for rethinking water, I think the professor actually at dinner gave me this expression yesterday. It's great to constantly be rethinking, but here we need to start transforming water. And that's what the next 5 years is really going to be about, because we now know it can be solved with the Rubik's Cube. We know that the puzzle pieces can be put together and can create the solution. So now we need to transform it. And we not only need to transform it here, we're going to be transforming it at a global level, which is why I think this year I'm proud to say that Rethinking Water is now 3 Rethinking Waters, including 2 that are outside of New York. So that's really the visual representation of hopefully where we've come from and where we're going. So where do we stand today as we look at the agenda that we will be showing everybody is, this is the largest Rethinking Water conference that we've ever had. The demand has been exponential. But the most important part about that is that it's really in a grassroots way. This isn't a conference where we sort of invite certain people, not invite certain other people. I think it's very important and integral in terms of water that this is really grassroots, and that movement is really picking up. We are obviously, as the Vice Dean said, we're in an academic setting. We happen to be, and this is one of my favorite buildings in New York, designed by one of the greatest designers in the world, doing that, and we're doing it in a passionate way with a lot of the water leaders that are here today. But I think it's important to ground yourself in academia, bring in the rest of the community. I think a second point that's changed over the last year is that the world is watching. The world is watching at home, the world is watching here and downstairs. I think we see that. This is UN General Assembly Week. The UN is watching. Many of the people that are organizing that coming up in the UAE are here with Senegal. I think the people will hear about success. I think the young people are watching. They're watching water on YouTube. They're watching water all over the place. We'll see that. And I think the government is watching. There's many people from municipalities and the federal government here today, so they're watching. I think that's changed, and we need to really build on that. The second point I want to highlight is that it's working. Not only are people rethinking, watching, but it's working, and we'll see some really great success stories that we hope to replicate throughout the day for other people, because if there's one thing we know in water is that, yes, it was undercapitalized, underfinanced, under-researched, and a lot of interest, but there's a lot more to go, and there's a lot more coming. But I think record year in terms of investing, interest, and business models working. So what is today about? Today is really not about me speaking or the professor speaking. It's about hearing the stories. And we're going to hear stories about collaboration. We're going to be hearing about successes. We're going to be hearing stories about difficulties and challenges. We're going to be hearing how complex issues became simple. And that's been a common theme. But as I'll walk through the program, that just really think about this as stories. This is really not meant to be didactic in that way. It's meant to be really just showing you those stories. So I think, again, the biggest takeaway is collaboration and community, because if there's one thing we also know about water is that it cannot be done alone. It cannot be done in silos. And this conference is really meant to bring this community, which is everybody here in the room. And then as I walk through the program, we underpin it always with education, innovation, stakeholder engagement, and networking, which is in the various breakouts that we will see. So with framing that, what does the day ahead mean? We've obviously started a little late because of the weather, which we're thankful for the rain. But we're going to have an investor perspective, really from our chairman and CEO, John Regas, talking about how certainly an investor has been rethinking water. We will then move on to a keynote on global macro issues. How does that start at a global level, but how does that affect us all, each individually, on a more local level? We will then tackle a big problem, a complex problem called PFAS. We're going to bring in certain experts to talk about that in terms of actually rethinking it, and how does something so complex become so simple. We will then take a short lunch break for everybody to sort of collaborate. And we will then move on to two things. One is we're going to be celebrating 20 Hydro 20 leaders. And these are not the most famous, the most vocal, the most active in water, but we're going to be celebrating them because they are the ones that are grassroots making a difference in water. And it's really meant to showcase their stories and their continued leadership. We will then bring in a tremendous success story in terms of rethinking philanthropy. In a world that has been turned upside down in terms of funding, this is one success story that was collaborative, simple, and truly impactful, and unique, I think, in terms of rethinking it. We will then move on and hear certain success stories. We're going to hear about the fastest growing beverage company in America. We're going to be seeing a CEO that transformed his public company and grew at 300%. We're going to be hearing about a success story in treatment that has awoken a lot of people in terms of capital markets. And then we will end the day with really rethinking the federal government and what does it mean to engage with the government. Now, that sort of wraps up the rethinking. At the same time, we will be throughout the day, we're going to have 4 different tracks, as everybody knows. We're going to have stakeholder engagement along those tracks. We're clearly focused on education. We're in an academic setting. We're going to be showcasing 3 different ways to really learn about water. we're going to have innovation, and we're going to be, we're set up a considerable amount of time for sort of networking activities. In addition to that, as everybody knows, we try to bring in different voices in water. We're going to be having a podcaster, an interactive water tasting. We're lucky that we have two authors that have kindly given their time and energy to sort of write about water. We're going to be giving those books away because underpinning all of this is obviously knowledge and education. So whether you're a preschooler or somebody who wants to learn more about PFAS, we have those available. And this year, we wanted to broaden water in terms of making it more specific to consumers and individuals rather than at 30,000 feet. So we will be having a consumer pavilion in the atrium showcasing that as well. So the whole point is we have the entire building. It's all about sort of intermixing a lot of that with the main stage plus all the breakout rooms. So we're honored to have you here. We know there's a lot of options for people to do, but this is really all about collaborating, bringing together the different voices within water, educating, and actually transforming the water sector. So